Hello and welcome back to Power Play Productions. You've joined us for round 2 back 9 coverage, and we are happy to be back at the beautiful Bluebell Woods. Seamus.
Welcome to East Lothian, the disc golf coast of Scotland, Dunbar. We have our 18-hole championship course set up here, par 63, over 6,000 feet. Let's see what these guys can do on the back 9.
Yeah, you've got your championship holes in here, hole 15. Looking forward to seeing this on camera. Seeing if the players attack it or lay up.
Yeah, you're really looking to pad your score by the time you get to hole 15. 16 could be a birdie, and 17, 18 is a really hard finish.
Yeah, it's a big finish, and just closing out the front 9, looking back, we've got Noah shooting the hot 4 under, Rick coming in solid with 2, leading us out with 12 under for the tournament.
Hole 10, 300 feet. It's a nice, just short of 300 feet, I should say. It's a nice turnover shot. Plays left to right if you're a backhand player. You want to watch out for this sloping fairway. If you kick any of these trees, you'll wind up out on the dirt road. It's definitely a gettable 2. Walking away with 3 is fine. The pin sits up on this nice mound, so it makes it a little tricky.
Yeah, it's a very tricky basket position. Forces you to make a decision if you're not close. Today we're just playing from the championship tees further back. Rick getting a bad hit, finishing left.
One of the things you can't feel on the tee is which direction the wind is coming from.
You can hear it up there in the trees. Sami trying to get over on it, unfortunately, would be a bit too much.
Chris has got the power to reach. Let's see what he throws.
I'm guessing an MD4 maybe?
Look like an M4.
Well, it doesn't hit the line, but hopefully clean eyes on the basket. Chris following the backhand line. Turns this over. Right, getting creative down near the waterline. So just for a viewer, Seamus, so the ruling here is if it's dry and on this side.
The burn's not out of bounds. Sometimes when it runs really hard, we'll call it out of bounds because you can't actually cross it. But it's not running at all, so if you landed in it or you landed beyond it, it'd be an easy cross. But it's not OB.
Sami just finding his position.
It's also not an easy area to find.
Yeah, you're almost punished if you're down there. You know, the footing isn't exactly where it has to be. You can see from Rick's shot here, you're a bit further back. He's trying to turn over the putter, probably gets it to where he needs it.
So guys, can I pull it on the other side as casual release? Yeah.
Sami just confirming position for our next shot. Trying to sneak a forehand. Pretty good result down there, Seamus. He's got the uphill putt.
He should go up and down from there. Easy up shot for Chris.
Just sliding his berg, getting close.
To the right behind the basket is a nice flat area if Chris can hit that. Otherwise it's just roll away central.
Chris gets it to sit nice and close.
Is Rick save par? And he does.
Yeah, his stats are fairly consistent inside the circle. That's why he's been shooting hot this season. Chris to close out.
If there's a section on the course you want to get hot, this really is it, because the course closes out. It doesn't close. It's not an easy closeout. Birdies are possible on hole 16, but 17 and 18 are difficult in the best conditions, and when you add the pressure of this lead card, it becomes pretty difficult. So you don't want to count on getting the birdies there. So if there's a section of the course where you want to score well, this is it.
Yeah, we'll be disappointed not to pick up the birdies here, but hole 11's got a birdie option, Seamus.
Hole 11's par 3. You know, pick your choice. Go right or left of this tree here. Drive it into the hill, and you'll be looking at a birdie. Short one at 220 feet. Most of these guys should pick up the birdie. Looks like it's a tailwind, so they'll be throwing really understable.
Just seeing the turn on Rick's putter. Comes up a bit short, but that's in his range. Great shot to see the wind as the players are throwing from the field.
I think Sami was lining up an enigma there.
Just exposed the turn of this over there.
No, I was incorrect. That wasn't an enigma for Sami.
Chrissy gets over on his Firebird. He'll be hoping to get that back. Chris trying to catch a spirit here.
Ba-dum-bum. Let's see if you can get one up there and string together some pars.
You see the disc fighting the
That'll do
wind.
it.
And how right? Chris trying to get creative from behind. This is one of the big challenges of hitting early, Seamus. You're scrambling.
Nice scramble shot. I mean, that's all he had was that super anti-flex uphill with a tailwind. I say he pulled it off.
Sammy got a good flick on that, but big elevation.
Throwing it uphill with a tailwind like that, it's not very easy.
That disc just wants to drop. Chrissy. Close once again.
Chris taking his time lining up the putt.
Just taking that extra second just to make sure.
Nice putt. Chris is dropping birdies, but he had too many bogeys on the front nine to be happy about the way he's playing.
Rick continues putting form. Confident putt.
He's been playing well since he took off that Superman t-shirt.
He's a man of many layers, Rick. Awesome changes throughout the tournament.
Half Rick, half amazing.
Sammy's shooting a clean par so far. He's battling well with the MPO lead guys.
Hole 12 plays 331 feet up and over a mound. The tee shot's really tricky, depending on the winds. These trees that are on the left-hand side here, all of that's going to be gone. So you're playing up to what were old tennis courts, and the pin position is just a little bit different. It's back in the original spot up there on the left-hand side. This was taken before the construction was complete. So it'll look a little bit different here, but the challenge is the same. These guys should be able to get it in a 3. 2 good shots will definitely get you a 3.
I think this mound at the straight off the tee is a challenging part, Seamus. Like, as you can see, Rick sort of forces him to go high. Getting that margin is sort of the differential here.
It's a really good throw to learn. How to learn to throw up and over a mound like that. It's all about keeping the nose angle to the ground, and then of course you have to take the wind into consideration as well. But I guess it's all too easy to just get that nose up, and then your disc will just hyzer out.
Chris up and over.
That's a good drive.
It's very straightforward from there.
This is Sami throwing his Enigma.
Height looks good.
That was a really nice throw. You can see how he kept it low to the ground when he,
Yeah,
when he crested the mound.
Great result.
Chris could reach the pin. What do you think he's throwing there, Destroyer?
I think this might be his Onyx. Hopefully getting it to turn. Getting a wide shot of the fairway. A lot of work went into Seamus to get it tournament ready. Shout out to everyone that helped make the Scottish Open the next level this year.
Oh, we got so many volunteers to thank. It's amazing. The community is really amazing here, coming together and helping evolve this course.
Also, big shout out to our sponsors. Latitude 64 have been right behind Scottish Disc Golf in the Quake Tour for a number of years now. More recently, shout out to GAB Disc Golf Bags for sponsoring this coverage.
And Scottish Disc Golf Association for helping us organize it all.
Yeah, those guys have really grabbed these two Scottish tournaments, the Caledonian Open and the Scottish Open, and pushed them to be the majors they are now becoming. Great to come to Bluebell Woods for a 3-day event. Sami getting aggressive. Just slightly too high. Chris.
Nice putt, Chris.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can't say enough about Latitude 64. Their support over the last few years is, throughout Bluebell Woods' existence has been just phenomenal.
Yeah, we've been big fans of Latitude's baskets. We are hoping to put 9 new Latitude baskets in Ross Hall. We're giving it an upgrade for its 10-year anniversary, so very grateful for manufacturers supporting the growth of disc golf in Scotland.
Not a fan of the upside down putt, Ricker.
He's still the miss one, so
Hole 13, par 3, 410 feet. Plays out over an open field. The wind's usually coming from the left to the right. You take that into consideration. What you want to do is you want to land around that log pile on the right hand side if you can't push it a little bit further. It plays past this silver basket on the left to the blue basket. There is OB on the left hand side. You'd really have to saw it off. I doubt anybody on the lead card will find it.
yeah, it gives the guys an opportunity to really commit to a drive and get it out into that fairway and hopefully fade towards the basket.
It's one of the few open holes, a few open rips on the course, and you just don't want to be frustrated by the time you get there.
Right, cut a bit off, but it's, very good result.
Easy up and down there.
Chris going out and wide. Fairly straightforward. Unless these guys are really maybe making it a circle 2 Seamus, I think they're sort of really attacking on that second shot, or just trying to come out with a 3.
It depends on where they land. I mean, Rick has every right to push for a 2 there. The green's not fast. It's flat, and even if he catches one of the guardian trees, he can just it should be Should be an easy 3 for him. Sami with his destroyer there.
See if Chris is coming out late, can get something to stand up for him. Probably came out a bit higher than he liked, but they're all out in the fairway. They've all got fairly straightforward up and down.
He'll have a great look at hitting it for 2 from there. This is a inn of a pig, I believe.
Yeah, it's a fairly tricky basket location. You've got the Sami line straight through there, or the hyzer approach, but a couple of guardian trees can really make your putt more trickier than you would like.
We added a nice layer of wood chips before the tournament, so all of the greens are nice and soft. The discs will slow down, so it allows the player to be a little bit more aggressive. They can attack it because if they miss it, hits the wood chips, the disc will most likely stop, if not just skip a little.
Chris with a nice smooth shot, hits those chips. Fairly formal par here. Rick just closing out. That's the guardian trees you've got there, but that shouldn't be stressing Rick.
He's still inside the circle.
Rick closing out. Not too many strokes to be gained here, Seamus. It's just a matter of not making those mistakes you've highlighted, keeping in bounds.
A few of these guys have a birdie shot. Sami's one of them. Brings it back to even.
So far so good on the back nine for Sami. Not as much red coming in here. Do you think the card's starting to settle into the round, Seamus?
Yeah, they're probably finding their groove.
You're always happy to have turned the corner at the Bluebell Woods, but there's
harder holes to follow.
Yeah, the team move on to hole 14.
Hole 14, par 3, one of the signature holes on the course. 100 meters, slightly downhill. Just a really nice, smooth stroke. Will get you all the way down to about here for a right-handed, back-handed player. And then one hop into the green. This hole's been aced. And I think most of these players should be able to step up and pierce the gap.
Yeah, you've got a beautiful natural fairway following the path and a great tee position just to shape that shot.
Gets a little high.
Pretty good result. It's just trying to avoid the early hit right, or maybe finishing two left is really the danger here, but these guys just want to be executing that shot down that fairway.
It's difficult at this point, especially on the last hole. If you really wanted to get to 3, came up with a 4, or maybe the hole before you felt the same way. Nice shot from Chris here.
Yeah,
Chris inside the circle.
Chris hit that natural fairway shot.
And then you come up to a hole like the last hole and you get to rip one, and then you come up to a hole like this and it's actually a natural hyzer flip. You just want to take your time, slow it down a little bit, hit the line just like Chris did, finish inside the circle.
Sami following with a beautiful shot, just hoping for a skip. Like you said, Seamus one hop, and
thanks for backing me up, Sami.
Chrissy hoping to follow suit. Wow, it's could have been a lot different if you hit one of those early trees. Chris will be delighted with that result.
That is a remarkable result.
Rick floating one in. Oh!
Almost had the Midas touch.
Beautiful run from distance from Rick.
He'll be hard to catch, 2 strokes up, he'll be hard to catch if he does things like that.
Chris O'Brien sneaks it in. He'll be happy with a Carding another bird in the back 9.
Yeah, he's putting it together here on the back 9. Down 2. Going into long 15.
I think that might have been the first smile he cracked all round. Chrissy closing out. Fairly simple birdie for him. He'll be feeling like he gained a stroke on the hole. Sami finally getting on the par.
Hole 15, par 4, 604 feet. You have to smash it out, open this open field. You want to lay up short of the water. This yellow sign on the right-hand side is 200 feet from the pin. You got options. You want to land right here where the drone is. Picking up a 4 is great on this hole. You got OB water, OB over that flowering gorse on the right-hand side, and OB in front of this fence that Chris is about to drive over. Looks like they're throwing into a headwind. Hope he's got something nice and stable.
Yeah, also put it out with a bit of ante on it, but we're pretty happy to get out in the field. It's sort of in that distance of, do you want to attack the second? The headwind really changes the hole here.
You want to get as close to that water's edge as you can off the tee. Even if you go a little bit left toward the A-frame, it sets up a nice spike hyzer. And this is if you're a right-handed backhand player. Left-handed players have different options.
Sami coming out with a nice angle. Fairly similar result. See if Chrissy wants to try and grab off a bit more distance. I think the guys are trying to keep it low just to avoid that wind, or
You're probably trying to, keep the nose down anyway. And that's what happens when you keep the nose down a little bit too much. The headwind will just push it right into the ground. It's a fine line. Definitely a fine line. That nose angle, keeping it right into the wind.
we're getting a bit more distance. He's probably in the area you're talking about, Seamus, where he might have the spike hyzer approach across the water, but it's sort of this distance is sort of forcing the guys to make a decision. Do they want to go safe through the channel on the right or go straight out over the water?
Chris threw that a lot farther than I thought. He's probably throwing a mid here. Depending how stable the disc is, you actually have to bring it out over the OB before it turns and glides back toward the basket, just like Chris did there.
Fantastic shot from Chris. He'll be happy with the result.
See what Chris O'Brien's throwing it here into the glaring sun. Looks like he turned it a little bit too much.
Got low enough to stay inside the fence, so not the worst result, because that would be, probably comes into play more often than you would think.
It's a big number hole. If you can put together a 4, you're picking up strokes on most of the field, and a 3 you'll get you on lead card.
Sami unfortunately coming up a bit short.
Wonder if they call it, wonder where they mark that one.
So this is that line you're chatting about, Seamus, where you get wider, and that hyzer line does pull that into play, and you really need to be getting your disc to fade away before it gets caught up. Sami unfortunately had to go back to the other side of the water. He's going to line up a sort of straight line at it.
Yeah, back to Rick's shot. It just wasn't stable enough at the end. It just looked like it just turned and glided right out the OB.
Yeah, I think that happened to me this tournament, but this hole's got a lot in play. Chris with the smooth shot, just...
That's a tester. He's inside the circle, but that's a tester. This is for par.
Wouldn't be a lead card at Power Play Productions unless Rick's fallen over on a putt shot. Chris is just missing right.
Sami saves bogey after going OB. Back to 11 par. I'm sure he's still tearing up the amateur division, playing well.
Chris just to close out. In previous years, Seamus, did you have this a raised basket just to make it a wee bit more interesting?
We have raised it in the past. Yep. Not to great accord. There was a little grumbling.
It's a big putt after you went OB. Chris cleaning up the par. Pretty good result. Oh, he's done it with someone in the background.
Chris should be happy with par on that.
It'd be disappointing not to take that birdie up, but like you say, par's gain strokes. Rick's still 100% on upside down putts.
I mean, Chris Smith has thrown a bogey and a birdie, and he's 10 under. I mean, he's still in it. Chris O'Brien at 11 under. Sammy's in another division. He's close to leading the tournament. He's played him great. And Rick's our leader. Hole 16, par 3, 252 feet. You want to make this gap here, and then it starts to climb a little bit on an elevated basket. Again, sets up for a really nice turnover. It's kind of a touchy shot after coming in off the power throws on the field. This is the beginning of 3 great closing holes. What you want to do is you want to get the birdie here, and then you got 3 opportunities on 17 and 18.
Yeah, this is the hole you want to try and gain some strokes. Shout out to Glasgow Disc Golf Club, home of free disc golf, sponsoring the tee show. Chris with a beautiful drive, just past the basket.
Great control up the hill. It's really nice when you can throw something understable. Kind of goes into the hill, it climbs the hill a little bit as it goes understable. There must not be too much wind in there because it finished nice and flat.
Good to see the gallery out, following the lead card in. Chris probably cutting off through the gap, but just off the fairway. Should be a straightforward up and down.
Probably a rock 3 from Sami. Gets it on a nice angle. That should get stable at the end and put him well inside the circle for the birdie.
Yeah, it's great angle control. Can you see the Glasgow boys in the background?
And Rick's opted for a jawbreaker magnet here.
Probably a bit straighter off the release than he would like.
A little less stable now.
It's always this range you need to keep an eye on Rick, because if he gets the line right, but just off a bit left, probably a bit more work than he would like. Probably starting to feel the pressure where the gallery arrived.
Rick's seasoned vet. I imagine he'll finish strong.
Chris with a nice up and down. Alan the Borders Davis in the background looking handsome.
High in the chains, gets his par.
Feels like the card's closing out in a nice, beautiful afternoon at Bluebell Woods.
Looks pretty tranquil after yesterday and this morning.
Chris just to execute on the nice drive.
A little bit of a death putt.
Just off right. The Prodigy baskets will force you to commit. Hit the centre.
I was actually standing right there when Chris threw that putt, and the person in that silver van started their van just as he was throwing it. It was really unfortunate for Chris. That would have distracted anybody. He's a good sportsman. Never said anything.
Charlie O'Brien. How did support his dad? Looking forward to seeing him on a lead card, not in the near future.
Latitude 64, the boys down here just finished checking out the your map, and everything is A-OK.
Hey, Jonathan, catch. Huh?
Warning, low oxygen. Warning, low oxygen.
Jonathan, we're getting an anomalous critical failure on your suit. Could you please confirm status?
Sorry, man.
Warning, low oxygen.
Hole 17, par 4, 132 meters, 433 feet. Narrow fairway. You got to split this gap. Right-handed backhand throwers need to get something stable. 3 is definitely achievable. If you walk away with a 4, you're doing fine. 17th hole in a hard tournament like this.
Yeah, we've got 2 shots between the card. Sami's up there with Rick. Very clean off the tee. This is where you want to be. Disappointing rollback, but
That was Sammy's FD.
it's a great result.
Get off the fairway nice. Looks like Chris is lining up a destroyer.
Finds an inside gap, starts the hyzer. Full flight of a disc, sort of what you want. You're getting down the fairway, you've got a couple of lines through to the basket.
It's a little bit jail-like up there where Chris landed. He'll have to pitch out a little bit. He can still get the 3 from there.
Chrissy opting for a stable option, but gets a good hit a tree and then unfortunate bad hit to hit the outbounds on the right hand side. Rick going full attack mode with his nuke. Following Chris O'Brien. Better result in the fairway.
Great kick for Rick.
Apologises to the card. Chrissy not getting a clean option from his OB lie. Trying to get creative with a forehand roller.
He's probably got about 150 feet left.
Angle looks good. Can turn over.
That fence on the left-hand side of the screen, that'll catch a roller as well, so it's pretty safe shot.
Sami just missing that angle ever so slightly, just not to get that finish into the basket. Rick, pretty formal up and down from here.
Easy pitch in from there. That was Chris's drive. It was a nice drive, so that's a pitch up for a 3 there.
Sami trying to get a turnover putt. Just misses the angle and probably goes further past the basket than he would like. Chrissy hoping to capitalise on a scramble game. This putting's not been far away, Seamus. A couple of basket hits. Just needing to execute like Sami's been doing.
Good scramble bogey.
It goes to show it's a great drive, but you need to be linking up those shots to pick the birdie here. Chris hoping to take his time on the birdie shot.
It's for a 3 for Chris.
Picking up birdies coming in 17, 18, it's what you need to be doing if you're challenging for the trophy, Seamus.
Yeah, this is a 3 for Rick, isn't it? So that still puts him 1 stroke ahead.
Yeah, this is a fairly straightforward
Yep.
clean drive up and down.
So we want to get 3 on this one, 3 on the next one.
Gives him 1 stroke lead coming into the last hole.
Hole 18, par 4, 423 feet, 129 meters. Plays up and over this mound here. You want to get past this guardian tree on the left-hand side. That's when the hole turns slightly to the left. If you can land up on this flat area here, you'll have a good look at the basket. Otherwise, getting a 4 is fine. But if you can pick up the 3 to finish your round, you'll certainly be moving up the leaderboard.
Beautiful finishing hole, very challenging.
It's a real fast green at the end. You can't see it, but you're playing up over this mound and then back down the other side. So if you put too much heat on the disc, you'll wind up either hitting the green container or your disc will go for a ride.
Yeah, you've also got the elevation coming into play here, just trying to get up through the fairway and really give yourself the option on the second shot. Rick's height looks good here.
The hard part about this hole is after the drive, you want the disc to hug the right hand side of the fairway for as long as you can, and then when it fades back to the left, you don't want it to fade back much, or else you find yourself in a poor position.
Sami getting unlucky with the hit. Chrissy's going to be hoping to finish strong. Gets the height. Using more of that fairway that you mentioned, Seamus.
Amazing shot, Chris. If you don't land in the fairway on this hole, you're pretty much pinched off from most angles. So you really need to take your medicine. If you can't control your ego, you're going to wind up catching another tree pretty soon, and then the strokes can pile up on this hole.
Yeah, it's nice to try and find a gap, but the execution is really the make or break in this hole. Sami looks pretty happy with the result.
This hole and hole 17 were all the service roads to the walled garden. So there's all these little gaps, and there's these, two car wheel wide gaps all over the place.
Chris finding a nice. Line pretty happy. Nice control towards the end. Rick seemed impressed. Can he get it to turn?
Great pickup from Power Play Productions, catching that skinny gap. And Rick's gone a little bit too far, and he's hyzered down the hill. He's probably right on circle's edge.
Chris finding that hyzer line allows a bit more control in the distance, probably cuts it off sooner than he would like. It's a beautiful hole to get all angles of the woods. Chris is just finishing off a bit lower than he would like. Just margin in his putting today. Seamus, he could be putting in a hot round, but unfortunately he's going to finish over par for the day.
Rick just short for a 3. Believe this is for par for Chris O'Brien. Three birdies on the back 9. He should be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, gets him under par for the day. Pretty good bounce back at the turn.
Nice round, Sami. In the chains for the par.
Yeah, it was a fairly consistent round until he was up and down towards the tail end, but great shooting by Sami, especially on the lead card with the cameras out. Chris and Rick finishing out, disappointed not to pick up the birdies, but
didn't realize Chris pulled out the big gun with his 1,000 rated caddy there.
yeah, I'll be hoping for a 1,000 rated round 3. Unfortunately, no 1,000 rated rounds today. Rick coming in strong with a 3 under. Chris O'Brien also finishing strong from the turn. He'll be happy to finish under for the day, and Sami and Chris having an up and down out there, Seamus.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble there on the front 9 for him. They couldn't capitalize on, the back 9 and made too many mistakes.
Yeah, and that just leaves Rick going into day 3 with 13 under, 1 stroke lead over Chris O'Brien. Jimmy Matthews making moves. 2 under was enough for him to jump onto lead card. And Chris Smith, he's going to be joining us for day 3 coverage on the lead card. finishing out with 1 over for the day.
It's nice to see Jamie Matthews making it up to lead card. He's a Prodigy-sponsored player, so hopefully we'll see some good things out of him. Another great day of disc golf here at Bluebell Woods in East Lothian. I thought we saw 3 out of the 4 available seasons, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, big shout out to the team behind Power Play Productions. And also thanks for joining us for Day 2 of the Scottish Open. Make sure you tune in for Day 3 final round coverage.